Azad and Hill tons give Foxes the edge. Ben Brown's 100 and yet another 50 from captain Tom Haynes put Sussex in a great position heading into day 2 in Leicester. 300 runs already on the board with 6 wickets in hand. They have a chance to pick up maximum batting bonus points on their way to an impressive total. Brown was still there, unbeaten overnight, and had debutant Tom Hinley at the other end, and the 18-year-old found the boundary early on, but he wouldn't be able to stick around for too long, out to Wright for 19. Jack Carson followed the ball and followed his colleague, out caught behind to the very next delivery. Henry Crocombe steered Sussex past 350 runs, but Leicestershire were on top in the morning session. Chris Wright had his number, bowled for 7, and the Foxes man had 5 for his trouble. That was soon 6. Sean Hunt following to the next delivery, another man bowled, and Brown was running out of partners. With Hudson Prentice unable to return to the middle, Sarrow was the last line of resistance, out for a duck when he picked out Sakande off the bowling of Barnes. Brown finished unbeaten on 133, his knock another crucial one, ably supported by the man who had taken over the captaincy from him, Tom Haynes. He looked good for his 71 at the top of the order, but the Foxes, and Wright in particular, found momentum. He was the pick of the bowlers with 6 for 94. Despite success with the ball, Leicestershire would get off to a poor start with the bat. Evans out to the first ball he faced, caught by Rawlins in the slips. Azad though made sure that they put 50 runs on the board, the score at the break, 51 for 1. He and Rhodes continued to build after the break, and they were starting to think about triple figures. Sussex's attack was a man light after it was confirmed Hudson Prentice suffered a broken bone earlier in the match. And Azad had a 50 as just reward for his decent work at the top of the order. Hunt carted to the boundary to get there and take his partnership with Rhodes to 100 runs. Rhodes had reached the end of the road though. Haynes made his mark with the ball as well as bat. Defences beaten by a delightful delivery. Hill combined well with Azad to make sure they wouldn't lose another before tea, and in the process they took the Foxes past 150. They went into the break at 152 for 2, trailing now by 207. The 50 partnership was forthcoming after the break. Carson swept for 4 to reach the mark of 112 balls. Hill was in great touch, quickly ticking the boundaries off and finally reaching 50 off just 66 balls. A ninth 4, another off Carson took him to the personal milestone. A 6 from his blade took them to 200 runs, a swashbuckling showing from the number 4, really paying dividends now. And then to the very next ball, he had them quickly up to 100 runs for the 3rd wicket. They'd taken just 54 more balls to get there after putting on 50 together. Both men had started to think of hundreds, and Azad would be the first to get there, calmly to the mark with a single off Hinley, up to the ton of 187 balls. Hill wasn't far behind. Another boundary took him to the cusp of 100, and the partnership to 150. He sealed it soon after with a sedate single off Hunt. The Foxes having a good time out there. The deficit had now dropped into double figures. By the time they reached the close, the score was 291 for 2, and Sussex's total was now just 68 runs away. After a fine showing with the ball and then the bat, Leicestershire have given themselves a chance of chasing the win. They'll hope to find their way to parity early on day 3 before building a tricky lead. But Sussex have shown enough with the bat that any target is gettable for this young but talented group of players.